I found my daughter's diary and learned she had been hiding a secret relationship from me for years. Hi everyone. Before we get into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed that the channel's reach has been dropping a bit, and one of the best ways you can support us is by subscribing. It's quick, free, and helps us keep bringing you new and interesting stories. Your support means the world to us, and together, we can grow this channel. Thank you so much. Now let's get to today's story. I'm writing from a temporary account for obvious reasons, and I've changed some details to protect my anonymity. The afternoon light falls through the window at a sharp angle, illuminating dust motes suspended in the air like tiny planets in their own slow orbit. I'm standing in my daughter's room, holding something I shouldn't be holding, about to cross a line I swore I'd never cross. The notebook is leather-bound, worn at the edges, the kind you buy at those expensive stationery shops where everything smells like possibility and fresh starts. It was tucked behind a row of textbooks on the shelf above her desk, not exactly hidden, but not displayed either. I found it while reaching for a dictionary I thought I'd lent her months ago. My hand trembles slightly as I hold it. The leather is warm, almost alive. I can see the faint impression of her fingers on the cover, the places she's gripped it most often. There's a coffee stain on the corner, shaped like a comma, like the universe pausing mid-sentence. I know I shouldn't read it. Of course I know. Elena is 24 years old, not a child. She has her own apartment downtown, her own job, her own life. This notebook is probably just something she left here during one of her increasingly rare visits. Reading it would be a violation, a betrayal of the trust between mother and daughter. But my fingers are already opening the cover before I can stop them. Because something has been wrong for a long time now, and I don't know what it is. And the not knowing is slowly killing me. The house is too quiet. It's Saturday afternoon, and I'm alone. My husband, Martin, is at his brother's place, helping with some construction project. Elena was supposed to come for lunch today, but canceled at the last minute. Again. The third time this month. Something came up at work, she'd said, her voice distant and rushed. I'm really sorry, Mom. Next weekend, I promise. But she'd promised that last weekend, too. I sit down at her desk, in the chair where she used to do her homework, back when she still lived here, back when I knew her. The notebook feels heavier than it should in my hands. On the first page, in her neat, careful handwriting, "Private, please respect that." The words are like a physical push, telling me to stop, to close the book, to put it back. But I'm already reading the first entry, dated 3 years ago. I saw him again today. We didn't speak, just looked at each other across the room. But it was enough. It's always enough with him. I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending this isn't happening. My heart contracts. Him? Who is him? 3 years ago, Elena was dating Michael, the law student, the one we all liked, the one who seemed so perfect for her. They broke up that summer, and she never really explained why. Just said they wanted different things, that it wasn't anyone's fault. I turned the page. Met him at the usual place. We only had an hour, but it felt like forever and no time at all. I hate these stolen moments. I hate that we can't just be normal. But when I'm with him, nothing else matters. Not the complications, not the lies, not the future I can't see. Just him. The handwriting blurs. My eyes are stinging. Stolen moments, complications, lies. These aren't the words of a happy relationship. These are the words of something wrong, something secret, something that needs hiding. I flip through more pages. The entries aren't daily, more like whenever she needed to release the pressure of whatever she was carrying. Some are just a few sentences. Others go on for pages. Mom asked about my weekend today. I said I was with Sarah. I'm getting too good at lying. Sometimes I barely recognize myself anymore. But what else can I do? If I tell her the truth, it'll destroy everything. She'd never understand. No one would. The words hit like a physical blow. She's been lying to me, her mother, the person who gave her life, who knows her better than anyone, or thought I did. Apparently, I don't know her at all. My hands are shaking as I continue reading. Each entry is like a piece of a puzzle, and the picture forming is one I don't want to see, but can't look away from. He called tonight. His wife was in the next room, so he couldn't talk long. Wife. I hate that word. But I love him, and that's what matters, right? Love is supposed to conquer everything. That's what all the movies say. So why does it feel like I'm drowning? The notebook slips from my hands, hitting the desk with a dull thud. Wife. The word echoes in my head, louder and louder, until it's all I can hear. My daughter is having an affair with a married man. I stand up too quickly, and the room tilts. I grip the edge of the desk, breathing hard, trying to process this information that can't possibly be true, except it is. It's written in her own handwriting, in her own words. How long have I been standing here? Minutes? Hours? The light has shifted. The dust motes have drifted into new patterns. I sink back into the chair, and despite every instinct telling me to stop, I pick up the notebook again. I need to know. I need to understand. Even if the understanding destroys me. The next entry is dated 6 months later. We were almost caught today. His wife came home early, and I had to hide in the closet like something shameful, which I guess I am. Shameful. That's the word everyone would use. Homewrecker, other woman. But they don't know him like I do. They don't know how unhappy his marriage is, how she doesn't understand him, how empty his life was before me. I'm not breaking up a happy home. I'm just being there for someone who needs me. The rationalizations are painful to read. I've heard them before, in movies, in books, in whispered conversations at dinner parties about someone we knew who'd done this terrible thing. But never did I imagine my daughter would be that person. My Elena, who cried when she stepped on an ant as a child, who believed in fairness and honesty and doing the right thing. I keep reading, watching her descent through her own words. There are moments of happiness, stolen weekends when his wife was away, secret dinners, hotel rooms, promises that someday, somehow, they'd be together properly. And there are moments of despair, of guilt, of self-loathing so deep it makes my chest ache. I looked at Mom today and wanted to tell her everything. I wanted her to hold me and tell me what to do, like she did when I was little, and everything seemed too big to handle. But I'm not little anymore, and this problem is too big for anyone to solve. I've made my choice, and now I have to live with it, even if it's killing me. Tears are streaming down my face now. My baby was suffering, was reaching out in the only way she knew how, through words written in private, and I wasn't there. I didn't know. I was too busy respecting her space, her independence, her adult life. I flipped through more pages, watching the story unfold. Arguments, reconciliations, promises made and broken. His name appears eventually. David. He works with her, is 15 years older, has 2 children. The children appear in the entries sometimes, sources of guilt and complication. Saw his daughter today at the coffee shop near work. She's 12, bright, funny, has her whole life ahead of her. She doesn't know her father is destroying her family, neither does her brother. When David leaves them, and he says he will, says he's just waiting for the right time, they'll be crushed. And I'll be the reason. How do you live with that? How indeed. I want to reach into these pages, grab my daughter, shake her, ask her what she was thinking, why she couldn't see what she was doing to herself, to these children, to this family. But more than that, I want to ask why she couldn't tell me, why she felt she had to carry this alone. The entries become less frequent as time passes, longer gaps between them. The tone changes too, less desperate, more resigned. Like she's accepted this half-life, this existence in the shadows of someone else's marriage. The most recent entry is dated 2 weeks ago. He told me he's not leaving her. After 3 years of promises, of just wait a little longer, he's decided to stay with his wife. He says he loves me, but his children need him. His wife is going through something difficult. The timing isn't right. It's never the right time. I've wasted 3 years of my life on a man who was never going to choose me. And the worst part? I think I always knew. I just didn't want to admit it. The notebook ends there. No more entries. Just blank pages waiting to be filled with more secrets, more pain, more of a life I knew nothing about. I close it carefully, as if rough handling might cause the words inside to escape and infect the room. My daughter's room, with its faded posters from high school, her collection of books we used to read together, the stuffed bear I bought her when she was 5 sitting on the shelf, one eye missing, loved into disrepair. This is where she grew up. This is where I tucked her in every night, where we talked about her dreams and fears, where she told me everything. When did that stop? When did she start having a life I wasn't part of? A secret life, full of pain and deception and terrible choices? I think back over the past 3 years, trying to find the signs I must have missed. There were changes, subtle ones. She became more distant, canceled plans more often, seemed distracted when we did see her. But I attributed it to normal adult life. Work stress, the challenges of living independently, the natural drift that happens as children build their own worlds. I never imagined this. My phone buzzes. A text from Elena. Sorry again about today. Rain check? My fingers hover over the keyboard. What do I say? Do I confront her now? Over text? Do I pretend everything is fine until I can see her face to face? Do I tell her I know her deepest secret, that I've violated her privacy in the worst possible way? I type back. Of course, sweetheart. Next weekend? Definitely. Love you, Mom. Love you too. The lies come so easily now, to both of us. I put the notebook back where I found it, carefully, exactly as it was positioned. Then I leave her room, closing the door quietly behind me, as if noise might disturb the secrets I've uncovered. In my own bedroom, I sit on the edge of the bed, staring at nothing. Martin won't be home for hours. I'm alone with this knowledge, this terrible understanding of what my daughter has been living through. Part of me wants to call her right now, demand she come over, force her to explain. Part of me wants to find this David, whoever he is, and tell him exactly what I think of a man who would do this to my daughter, to his own family. Part of me wants to pretend I never found the notebook, never read it, never learned any of this. But I can't unknow it. The words are burned into my brain, each entry a brand on my heart. That night, I barely sleep. I lie awake, replaying every interaction with Elena over the past 3 years, seeing them through this new, terrible lens. Every canceled dinner was a meeting with him. Every girls' night with Sarah was a lie. Every time she seemed distracted or sad, it was because of him, because of this impossible situation she'd trapped herself in, and she couldn't tell me, didn't trust me enough, or maybe knew I'd react badly, try to fix it, try to save her from herself. Maybe she was right. Maybe I would have. In the morning, Martin asks if I'm feeling okay. I look tired, he says. Am I coming down with something? Maybe, I lie. Didn't sleep well. He makes me tea, kisses my forehead, goes off to his day. He doesn't notice that I'm breaking apart inside. But then, I didn't notice Elena was breaking apart either. Maybe we're all just better at hiding than we think. The week passes in a blur. I go through the motions of my life, but my mind is elsewhere, trapped in those notebook pages, trying to understand how this happened, how I failed to see it. By Friday, I've made a decision. I need to talk to her, not to accuse or judge, but to understand. To let her know she's not alone, that whatever she's going through, I'm her mother, and that means something. That should mean everything. I call her. Elena, are you free tomorrow? I thought we could have that lunch we missed last week. A pause. Actually, Mom, I was thinking of coming by this weekend anyway. There's something I need to talk to you about. My heart stops. Does she know I found the notebook? Is she going to confess? Of course. What time? How about 11? We could make it brunch. Perfect. I'll make your favorite. Thanks, Mom. See you tomorrow. That night, I barely sleep again. What is she going to tell me? Is she finally going to trust me with the truth? Or is it something else entirely, another secret I haven't even imagined? Saturday morning arrives too quickly and not soon enough. I make French toast, her favorite since childhood, with fresh berries and powdered sugar. I set the table carefully, using the good dishes, as if nice plates might make whatever conversation we're about to have easier to swallow. She arrives exactly at 11, punctual as always. But she looks different, thinner than I remember. Dark circles under her eyes, despite makeup trying to hide them. Her smile is too bright, forced. "Hi, Mom!" She hugs me, and I hold on longer than usual, breathing in her perfume, feeling how fragile she seems. "Hi, sweetheart, you look tired." "Work's been crazy." Another lie. Or maybe not. Maybe work has been crazy on top of everything else. We sit down to eat, making small talk about her job, about her apartment, about the weather. Safe topics. Easy topics. Topics that don't matter at all. Finally, she puts down her fork. "Mom, I need to tell you something." My heart pounds. "Okay." "I've been seeing someone for a while now. It's complicated, and I didn't tell you because it's complicated. But it's over now, and I needed you to know that I'm okay. Or I will be okay. Eventually. I could pretend surprise. I could ask questions, let her tell me the story on her terms. But the weight of the secret I've been carrying is too heavy. The lies between us have to stop, even if the truth is ugly. "I know," I say quietly. She looks up sharply. "What?" "I know about David, about the affair, about all of it." Her face goes pale, then red. "How do you—" Then understanding dawns, and her expression shifts from confusion to horror to rage in seconds. "You read my journal. I found it while I was looking for—" "I don't care what you were looking for." She stands up, her chair scraping against the floor. "That was private. Mine. How could you?" "I was worried about you. You've been so distant, and So you invaded my privacy? Went through my personal things? What gave you the right?" "I'm your mother." "I'm not a child," she shouts. "I'm 24 years old. You had no right at all. You were involved with a married man, a man with children. What was I supposed to do? Pretend I didn't know?" "You were supposed to not know, because it's none of your business." We're both standing now, facing each other across the table with its untouched French toast and perfect place settings. "It is my business when my daughter is destroying her life." My voice cracks. "When she's lying to me every day, living in some secret world I can't reach." "Because I knew this is exactly how you'd react, with judgment and horror and disappointment." "I'm not disappointed. I'm scared. Scared for you, scared of what this has been doing to you." "Well, you don't have to be scared anymore because it's over." He chose his wife, and I'm left with nothing, and now you've taken away the one place I could be honest about it. Tears are streaming down both our faces now. "I'm sorry," I say, and I mean it. "I'm sorry I read it. I know I shouldn't have. But Elena, sweetheart, you were suffering. You are suffering, and you didn't tell me. Why didn't you tell me?" She sinks back into her chair, covering her face with her hands. "Because I was ashamed. Because I knew it was wrong, and I did it anyway. Because I fell in love with someone I couldn't have, and I couldn't make myself stop loving him, even when I knew he was never going to leave her." I move around the table, kneel beside her chair, take her hands in mine. "Oh, baby." "I'm not a baby," she says, but without heat. "I'm an adult who made terrible choices." "You're my baby. You'll always be my baby, no matter how old you are or what choices you make." She looks at me, and in her eyes, I see the little girl who used to run to me with every problem, believing I could fix anything. "I wanted to tell you, so many times, but I was afraid you'd hate me." "I could never hate you. Never. Even though I was the other woman? Even though I helped someone cheat on their wife, hurt their children?" I want to say yes, of course. I don't judge you. But that would be another lie, and we've had enough lies. "I hate what happened," I say carefully. "I hate that you were in that situation, that he put you in that situation. But you, my daughter, I love you. Always. even when I don't understand your choices. She's crying harder now, great heaving sobs that shake her whole body. I pull her close, and she leans into me like she hasn't done in years. My shirt is getting wet, and my knees hurt from kneeling, and none of it matters because my daughter is in my arms and she needs me. I'm so sorry, Mom, for lying, for all of it. I'm sorry, too, for reading your journal, for violating your trust. We stay like that for a long time, holding each other, crying together, letting the truth sit between us in all its painful complexity. Finally, she pulls back, wiping her eyes. I really loved him, you know. It wasn't just physical or an ego thing. I really thought we had something real. I know, I could tell from your writing. She winces. That's so weird, knowing you read all that. I can never unread it. But maybe that's good. Maybe it's good that I know. How did it even start? In your head, I mean. When did you decide to read it? I tell her about finding it, about the weeks of distance and worry, about how I couldn't help myself. She listens without interrupting. I should have come to you, she says when I finish, when it started getting complicated. But I was in so deep by then, and I didn't know how to explain it without sounding like every cliché ever. What happened? Recently, I mean. You said it's over. She takes a deep breath. His wife found out. Not about me specifically, but that he was having an affair. She gave him an ultimatum. He chose her. He chose them. And I understood why, even though it destroyed me. They're his family. His kids love him. I was just extra, temporary, something on the side. You were never just anything, I say fiercely. He was lucky to have your love, even if he didn't deserve it. A sad smile. You're my mom. You have to say that. I'm your mom, which means I know you. And any man who would string you along for 3 years, making promises he never intended to keep, is a coward who doesn't deserve you. You don't know him. I know he hurt you. That's enough. We move to the living room, sitting together on the couch, like we used to when she was younger, and would tell me about school drama or friend conflicts. But this isn't school drama. This is adult pain, the kind that doesn't have easy solutions. What happens now? I ask. I don't know. I have to see him at work, which is going to be awful. I'm actually thinking about looking for a new job. That might be wise. Mom? Yes? Can we not tell Dad about any of this? I know you tell him everything, but I can't handle his disappointment right now. I hesitate. Martin is my husband, my partner. We don't keep secrets. But this is Elena's secret to share or not share. I won't tell him, I say. But you should think about it. He loves you too. He might surprise you? Maybe, but not yet. We talk for hours, really talk, in a way we haven't in years. She tells me about the first time she met David, how it started innocently, how it escalated before she realized what was happening. She tells me about the guilt, the loneliness, the constant fear of being discovered. She tells me about the moment when his wife found out, the terrible phone call when he ended it, how empty she's felt ever since. I listen, offering comfort when I can, truth when necessary. I tell her that loving the wrong person doesn't make her a bad person, that we all make mistakes, especially in matters of the heart, that she deserves someone who can love her openly, fully, without shame or secrecy. I don't know if I can trust my judgment anymore, she says. How do I know the next person won't be wrong too? You don't. That's the terrifying part of love. But you learn from this, you grow, and next time, you'll recognize the red flags earlier. Like being married? That's a pretty big red flag, yes. We both laugh, a little watery, a little broken, but real. As afternoon fades into evening, as the light through the windows turns golden and then dim, we're still talking, making up for 3 years of distance, of lies, of living separate lives. I've missed this, she says quietly. Missed you. I've missed you too, sweetheart, so much. I'm going to do better, about communicating, about being honest, about trusting you. And I'm going to do better about respecting your boundaries. No more reading journals. Deal. She stays for dinner. We order pizza because neither of us has the energy to cook, and the French toast is long cold. We watch a movie, something mindless and funny, sitting side by side on the couch. When Martin comes home, Elena hugs him extra tight, and I see his surprised smile over her shoulder. Everything okay? He asks me later when she's left. Yes, I say, and it's not entirely a lie. Everything isn't okay, not yet, but it's better than it was. We just had a good talk. Over the following weeks, Elena and I rebuild what was broken. She calls more often, visits more regularly. She's still sad sometimes, still healing from the end of the relationship, but she's no longer hiding it. When she's having a bad day, she tells me. When she's angry or hurt or confused, she reaches out. She finds a new job, a better one at a different company. She starts therapy, which she tells me is helping her understand why she accepted so little from someone, why she thought being someone's secret was the same as being loved. I learned to sit with discomfort, to hear about her pain without trying to immediately fix it. I learned that being a good mother to an adult daughter is different than being a good mother to a child. It requires more listening, less advising, more presence, less action. We never forget what happened. The affair, the journal, the betrayal of trust on both sides. But we don't let it define us either. We use it as a starting point, a low point from which to rebuild something stronger. One Saturday, 6 months after that terrible brunch, she comes over with boxes of her old things from storage. I thought we could go through these together, she says, if you have time. We spend the afternoon sorting through her childhood, school papers, old toys, photographs from family vacations. We laugh at her terrible teenage fashion choices, cry over pictures of my parents who are no longer with us. At the bottom of one box, I find a journal, much older than the one I found in her room. The cover is decorated with stickers and a younger version of her handwriting, declaring it property of Elena Morrison, age 12. Oh God, she says, seeing it. I forgot about that. Should I read this one? I ask, half joking. She takes it from me, flips through it, laughs at something she sees. Actually, yeah, this one you can read. It's all about how I had a crush on that boy Dylan and how you were the most embarrassing mom ever because you drove me to the dance. I was pretty embarrassing. You were perfect. You are perfect. In your imperfect, nosy, loving way. She hands me the journal, and we read it together, laughing at her 12-year-old problems, at how huge everything seemed, how every emotion was the end of the world. I wish I could tell her, Elena says, looking at a page covered in hearts with Dylan's name. That real heartbreak is so much worse than this, but also that you survive it, that even when you think the pain will kill you, it doesn't. Would she believe you? Probably not, but that's okay. Some things you have to learn yourself. Sir, as we pack everything back up, she hugs me. Thanks, Mom, for not giving up on me, even when I was being stupid. Never, I say. I'll never give up on you. She leaves as the sun is setting, promising to come back next week, and the week after that. I watch her car pull away, this daughter I created, who I thought I'd lost, who I found again in the most painful way possible. The leather journal is still in her old room, still tucked behind the textbooks. I haven't touched it again, and I don't intend to. Whatever she writes there now is hers alone, her private place to process, to feel, to be honest with herself. But she doesn't need it as much anymore, because now she has me again, and I have her, and we're learning how to be honest with each other. Not perfectly, not without stumbling, but genuinely, truly, with all the complicated love that binds mothers and daughters together. In the end, maybe that's what matters most. Not that we never make mistakes, but that we find our way back to each other afterward. That love is resilient enough to survive even our worst impulses, our deepest betrayals, our most painful truths. The weight of secrets nearly destroyed us both, but the light of truth, however harsh, set us free. And now we're building something new, something honest, something real. It's not the relationship I thought we'd have, but it's the one we need, the one we've earned through pain and forgiveness, and the stubborn refusal to let go. My daughter had a secret that nearly consumed her, and I violated her trust to discover it. We both did things we're not proud of, but we found our way back, together, and that, I think, is enough. I